Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hope you're well. Hope you smell, hope you smell. Hope you smell. Hope you're wavy, hope you're wavy. Hope you're wavy, hope you're wavy. I make music. I dropped 310 songs last year. 310, I dropped 310 songs last year. Greatly appreciate if you check it out. Link in the description, If you want something to check out, like a recommendation, check out the Grudge Pack. The Grudge Pack, 7 songs on there. Released it last year, 2023. Go check that out. The Grudge Pack. The Grudge Pack. So you can search whatever streaming platform you use. Jesse Nashe space The Grudge Pack. So JESSENASHE. That's one word. JESSENASHE. The Grudge Pack. So something I'm trying to get better at is lust. Something I'm trying to get better at is lustful thoughts, lustful desire. Because the concern I had, I was thinking about something yesterday. I was like, okay, if I'm a girl that I like, do the things, we get married, what happens if I'm not the best husband I can be? What happens if my mind is elsewhere? I'm dealing with lustful thoughts. I can't commit to myself to her fully because of this. Or worse, I end up using her in a way that devalues her because I haven't managed my lust. Because, I think what can end up happening, this happens with men and women, when you have a warped view of sexuality, what can end up happening is you view your spouse as an outlet for your fantasies. So in those moments, they become a tool, an object for you to masturbate with. Sex stops being this exchange and it becomes what's the word? Is utilitarian the word? Is that even a word? Yeah, so utilitarian. Designed to be useful or practical rather than attractive. So yeah, it's like, it's more about utility than engagement, than community, than love, than devotion. In that moment, they aren't a person, they're a thing. And I think what happens with stuff like pornography is these women they exist for one purpose, and that's to get you off. Which is not, imagine viewing your wife in that way. And you might not be conscious, you might not want to, but like, I think if you build a habit of doing that regularly, then you get into a marriage and you're kind of looking to scratch that same itch. But this time you're doing it with your wife, you're still engaging in the same practice, just now it's like with an actual human being. But if you're not careful, what can end up happening is you can end up leaving the person feeling used because they feel like, what, this isn't intimate, this is just carnal, material, nothing more than a way for this person to bust the nuts. That's what I feel like this is. There's no love here, there's no exchange. And I was thinking to myself, would I want, am I on the course for that? Which is a terrifying thought. I don't want that to be the case. You know, someone was talking about how when he got married, his wife was a virgin when he married her. Hold on. Talking about how his wife was a virgin when he married her, and after their wedding, I think they went like 10 days, or maybe, I don't know, it was a long time, like, of trying to have sex but failing because she was like, it's painful. Like she couldn't go all the way with it because it was just painful for her because she'd never had a man inside of her before. And he didn't force her, he didn't like say like just take it, da 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 da. Instead he was patient with her, and eventually they got into the groove of it, and yeah, things took off from there. And she told him like she really appreciated that moment. And throughout the relationship, she always felt like he never put her at risk, he never hurt her, yada yada yada. Which is great. I think that's as men, that's what we should all aspire to, you know. And obviously, because we love our wives, we love the woman that we love, and I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that I have my mind right. So with pornography, I'm trying to stop. Like, I think I'm single, I'm celibate, I'm not trying to be out here having sex with women, and so it's like I just have to not have sex until I get married. But it means that I also can't indulge in this other stuff because, you know, porn can be an outlet. You know, I've had moments where there were girls I was thinking about texting and maybe setting things up, and what I would do is instead of texting them, I just, you know, open up the laptop, bust a nut, because, you know, there's post-nut clarity. Once you've unloaded yourself, you start thinking clearly. Like, oh, okay. Because I don't want to lose my virginity to some random girl. I want to wait until I'm married. I want to have that particular experience of intimate relations with another woman in the context of a marriage. Obviously, I mean, to call myself a virgin at this point, with all the, I think anyone in this modern age with pornography and masturbation and all that sort of stuff, hold on. Yeah, in this modern age, we use the word virgin lightly because I think everyone's been, yeah. But if we take it to mean never had sex with, which I guess it is what it means, had sex with another person before, then yes, okay, cool. But yeah, I've crossed so many lines. Even with other girls. I've done, yeah, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is when you're abstinent, you really have to find a way to deal with those thoughts, those urges. There's all sorts of noises. So I was like, okay, yesterday I was thinking about it, you know, I saw, man, I need to clear my feelings. I saw this, the ASMR community in particular is it's become very, very perverted. So, you know, I'm seeing a girl on a thumbnail, cleavage out, you know, I get aroused. I start thinking, like, maybe I should. And then I was like, okay, I don't want to do this for the reasons I just laid out, you know. I'm trying to clean my mind and prepare it for marriage so that I can be certain that any sexual encounter with my wife is done in good faith, with the right spirit, with the right mentality. I don't think sex will always be like this romantic thing where, oh my god, rainbows, sunshine, and, you know, sometimes it can be rough and spontaneous and in the moment, but the importance is that there's an understanding between us, and that it's mutual. It's never me using you, trying to bust a knot. So yesterday I see that the thumbnail, it triggers something in my mind. I'm thinking maybe I should watch something online, and then I'm like, okay, no. So what I did was, there's a prayer I pray. Let me show you. Where's that book? Oh. There's a prayer I pray whenever I feel lustful thoughts entering my mind. I say, I thank you, Lord, for the beauty of this. So it's projecting into the future, I guess. I got this from someone else. I thank you, Lord, for the beauty of this woman. She is made in the image of God. By the power of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, may I never use her as an object for my own lustful gain. And by thy power, please untwist in me that which sin has twisted, and may I come to see my sexuality rightly. So when I'm saying thank you for this woman, I'm thinking about my wife, obviously. Obviously, you can think about whatever woman you're lusting over as well, that she's also made in the image of God, therefore don't defile her. But I'm thinking about my wife in the future. I'm like, I want to treat her with respect. I want to treat her as she deserves to be treated, right? So that she feels valued in every encounter we have. She always feels like she's part of a relationship. She's not being used. Like she feels my love. So I pray that prayer, and something I believe God acts when you reach out to Him. I believe when you pray to God sincerely and you're persistent, He hears you and He acts. So when I prayed this prayer, I listened to some. There's this guy, James Tour. He has this thing on his website called Scriptural Sexual Ethics. Scriptural Sexual Ethics, and he just talks about love and marriage and sex and stuff like that. And I listened to that, and then I prayed this prayer, and the urges quelled. The urges left me, and I've been riding off of that for some time. But now, it's the thing of like, okay, that wears off. It always wears off, and then you're left with willpower. The urges come back. You're like, fuck, I really want to like see something crazy right now. I want to watch something. I want to satisfy my urges. So it becomes a question of how do you deal with this issue? Well, you repeat the ritual. You pray the prayer. Maybe you read your Bible. Maybe you listen to something. You have to be careful what you listen to as well, because I think there's a lot of content out there these days. I guess these people might be well-meaning, but there's a lot of content about porn, and porn is destroying your brain. Porn is making you gay. Porn is doing this. Porn is doing that. If you're watching porn, you're going to hell. All this sort of stuff. And maybe it's all geared towards getting young men to stop, young women too. But the issue is, you're not going to scare someone into stopping. You have to realize that these are patterns you establish in your mind. Rigid patterns. If you keep doing it over and over time, it becomes a habit. So they become habits that are hard to break. So now all you're really doing with when you subject yourself to content like that is you're compounding your issues now with the added guilt and condemnation. That's not going to help you. It's not going to help you stop. It's just going to make you feel worse while you're doing these things. So I think we need to understand that what we need is not necessarily willpower. What we need is transformation. Your mind needs to be completely renewed. So for me, what I've found is when I engage with God, when I pray, when I meditate on these things, this ritual of prayer, of seeking God, of understanding that I'm not condemned. The Bible talks about how Christ didn't come to condemn anyone. He came to save people. Hold on, it's noise. So when you have that voice in your head that after you've done something, you've done the dirt, there's a voice in your head that's like, piece of shit, you're weak, you're this, you're that. That's evil. That's satanic, because you stop praying, you stop reading your Bible. Maybe there's certain people you can't see or visit anymore because in your mind you're like, you're not worthy, or whatever the case may be. Who's winning in that moment? It's not God. It's the other guy, the devil, because it separates you from God. So I think you have to be practical about this and understand that guilt, condemnation, all these sorts of things, they don't work in transforming someone. You can maybe temporarily get them to stop doing something, but it's like the heart hasn't changed. All you've done is burden them with guilt. So that's not the way. Obviously, look, I believe in shame, man. I believe in am I contradicting myself here? I believe in letting people know when they've done something wrong. Let me praise that way. And when there is a sense of feeling bad about doing something, we do reduce the amount in which those things are being done. Culturally, that makes sense in terms of dealing with certain behaviors that we don't want. So, crime, for example, when people are stealing, people are being violent, killing, whatever the case may be. But when it comes to now more personal matters, when you're dealing with someone that wants to stop doing something, they already feel the shame, they already do this, doing that. Compounding on that isn't going to help you, isn't going to help that person. What we need to start doing is understanding that we have to be practical and find the best possible method. So for me, what I'm realizing is, okay, you have to have a willingness, first of all, to stop. So what I want, more than to bust a nut and get my rocks off, is like, I want to be a good husband. I want my wife to genuinely be happy in our marriage. I want to have a great sex life. I've talked about this numerous times. I want to have the sort of marriage where we have tons of sex, but also it's mutual enjoyment, mutual benefit. Like we're both excited about it. It's not something one person wants and the other person doesn't want. But in order to get to that point, I have to have a clear mind. I have to know that I'm not looking at stuff on the side. You watch these sitcoms, these family sitcoms out, My Wife and Kids. The guy Michael Kyle, who's the dad of the family in this sitcom, he openly watches porn and everyone knows that he does. He has magazines. It's crazy. Because that's the culturally where we're at. This was like in the early 2000s, 2001 or something. So imagine how much we've degenerated since then. If that's where we were at 2001. But he has magazines and whatnot. Then his son starts watching porn as well, and it's just it's viewed as, oh, he's a boy. It's normal. Think about how crazy and warped that is. And then you look at our society now and how debaucherous and sick it is now, where pornography is just normal now, and everyone's engaging in it, and girls are doing this and that, and it's crazy. It's nasty. But imagine that as a father, you're married, and everyone just knows that as a married man, you're beating your meat to other women. That it shouldn't be done. And again, I don't want to condemn anyone. If you're watching this and you're married and maybe you've done that, you can at least find peace in knowing that you're not the only one. Like, you're part of a culture in which that's normal. So, at least you're not like some sort of anomaly that would make it worse. But we should have the mind that says, let's not do this, let's change. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to be the father that only has eyes for the mother of his children. My children know that the only woman I am interested in is their mom. My wife knows the only woman I'm interested in is my wife. So, when I get my lustful thoughts, I have by no means conquered these desires as of yet. I'm hesitant to always speak as if I'm over the hurdle. But at the same time, I'm like, should I be positive, affirm I have? What I'm doing is starting from the position of I want to stop. C.S. Lewis, this author, talked about how what book was it? Was it The Great Divorce? And I don't know what book it was, but it was a C.S. Lewis book, and this man had a lizard on his shoulders. It was referring to lust, or more broadly speaking, to sin, I guess. But I think it was specifically referring to lust. This man had a lizard, some sort of lizard on his shoulder. It would whisper things to him and make him do things that he didn't want to do. And there was an angel that said, "Let me kill that lizard. If I kill that lizard, you're not going to have to deal with all this nonsense anymore." And then the man hated the lizard. He had all these issues with this, but he also had this weird dynamic with the lizard where he's like, okay, but if I get rid of it, I'll be incomplete. I've had this lizard all my life. I've spent so much time with this lizard on my shoulder. I don't want to kill it, because then what will I be without it? Da 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 da. And the angel saying, you have to give me permission. I cannot kill this thing if you don't let me. You have to allow me to kill it. Let me kill it now while it has less of a hold on you. So there's this back and forth, back and forth. The angel is persistent, because that's the love, right? Imagine that, because it could have been a situation if I ask you once and you say no, then okay, cool, bro. Then he dips. But no, he persists. Let me kill the lizard. Let me kill the lizard. Let me kill it. Eventually, the man says, okay, kill it. Boom, the lizard gets killed. And then I think the angel transforms into this magnificent stag or stallion or something, and the man rides off on the stallion. And the point there was, once you abandon your previous lustful desires, because sometimes I think to myself, let's be real, guys. Oh yeah, so once you abandon your lustful desires and you allow God to direct you, because sex is great, right? Oh yeah, here's the point I was trying to make. When you watch pornography, when you go on these sites and you see a lot of the crazy stuff on there, there is an element of it feels good, it's exciting, it's this, it's that, and there is in the moment it feels amazing, right? But obviously when you're done, you're like, damn, what the hell was that? I wish I hadn't done that. You feel empty, you feel kind of dirty. It's never good. It lasts for those few minutes and then it's over. So it's not sustainable, and it's not great, right? So it's the lizard. The lizard whispers in your ear, today's going to be different. Today's going to feel good. Today, oh, it's going to be so amazing. There's also the thing of like you become desensitized, so certain things don't hit the same anymore. You watch certain things, it's not as exciting and whatever. But that lizard tells you, no, like we're going to find a great video today, yada, yada, yada. All these sorts of things, like it's going to be different. It's going to be different. It's always the same. So there's that lizard. Telling you a bunch of nonsense, right? You have to kill it, but you have to be willing to kill it. You have to want to kill it. And then when you want to kill it, that's when God can step in and do his work and replace it with something so much better. Because sex is not bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. But we're doing it wrong. That's why we're so unsatisfied. There's a reason why God says, wait until you get married before have sex. People don't listen. People think they're so smart that if I do it my way, things will work out. But, there's all sorts of things tied to promiscuous lifestyles that we can see, the divorce rates and the STIs and the attachments you form, the concept of pair bonding, where you form, you release bonding hormones when you have sex, so you actually develop real attachments to people when you sleep with them. And this is particularly prevalent in women, so the more men you have sex with, the harder it becomes to find contentment and peace in just one relationship. The happiest couples, statistically they've measured this, The happiest people are married virgins. They're the most likely to report satisfaction in their marriage and satisfaction in their sex lives, which is, what's the narrative these days? The narrative is gain experience, have like sex with a ton of people, explore your options, and then get married, and then you have an idea of what you want. Because you see, the mentality, sex is utilitarian. It's about you and not the other person. You assume there isn't an exchange. It's all about you and what you want, instead of let's negotiate, let's exchange, let's develop a shared vision. When you have that understanding, you realize that sex is about communication. You don't need experience. What you need is a relationship with a person, a human being, not a tool. Not a tool, but a human being who is different from other human beings. So what they like will be different from what the next person likes. So just because you had good sex with this other person doesn't mean that what you did with that person is going to work with this person. Everyone's different. You need to communicate. You need to develop a shared understanding. It's absolute nonsense. This idea that you need to gain experience, that you need to sleep with 100 people, because then what's the limit? What's the like they contradict themselves, because they say you need to gain experience, but then someone gains experience, they sleep with 1,000 people. Now you're a hoe. Now you're this. Now you're that. Now it's like, ooh, no. They're experienced. No, but we just meant like 5 people. Why 5? How? In what other realm is that enough? You haven't learned anything. You're still inexperienced at that point. You slept with 5 people, now you're a sex guru? Come on. Can we be serious, guys? It's not about experience, it's about relationship. Learning the person. You have conversations. You know what, babe? I've always thought about you and these outfits and da. Do you think that could be a thing you could do, where you could wear that? And then she's like, you know what? I'd actually, that sounds hot. I'd like to do that. Da. Hey, if you ever thought about trying this and this, and you have dialogue, you communicate your fantasies, and you agree with each other because you understand it's an exchange. If one person is like, I don't feel comfortable doing that, it's okay. It's not that deep. We don't have to do that. We can do what we've been doing, or we can try something else, yada, 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 yada. And that's how you enjoy yourselves. But when you've saved yourself, you haven't engaged in all this other nonsense, and you wait until you're married, you can enjoy it even more. You don't have the burdens, you don't have the trauma, you don't have all that not collected memory. You don't have to be thinking about, oh, but I enjoyed sex more with this person than I'm enjoying it with my current person, and all that sort of stuff. You don't have all that stuff built up in your memory. Not to say that if you have engaged in prior sexual activity that is over for you. I'm just saying there is a established pathway that's the best one, and then people branch off and do their own thing, but you can still make your way back in the direction of the original pathway. You can still do things that benefit you in the long run, and you can improve your life and then work towards a happy marriage. But yeah, when it comes to pornography, when it comes to lust, it's a battle. It's habits that have been reinforced over years by my own foolishness, by the culture I'm in. You set these rigid neural pathways that are very hard to then reconfigure. But the prayer ritual that I just described at the beginning of the video is proving effective in temporarily quelling my urges, quelling my desires. So it's about being disciplined enough to come back and do that over and over. Maybe for me, it's going to be a thing of morning and evening. I pray the prayer. I maybe listen to some stuff. And I know that for the day, I'm fine. And then my hope is that I can maintain this for a lifetime. I was going to say until I'm married, but really for a lifetime, because I don't want to like say, let me just hold off until I'm married, then I can relax. Never relax. Always stay alert, because the worst thing anyone can do is think I'm impervious to sin. Like I can never do something evil because I'm above that. No, 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 no. The moment you let your guard down and start thinking those thoughts like I'm fine, that's when evil creeps. Be vigilant. Christ said to his disciples when he was praying, he knew he was about to be captured and crucified. He was praying. Then he saw his disciples sleeping under a tree. He said, wake the fuck up. He didn't say it like that, but he said, pray, because sin is crouching at your door. The message he's trying to give them is the moment you let your guard down and start thinking everything's cute, that's when you start slipping up and making mistakes and doing things you didn't think you'd do. So remain vigilant. Pray, ask God to guide you, and you can keep yourself from a lot of these stupid things. So that's my mission going forward, is to develop a disciplined regimen where I pray to God. I pray this prayer, and I try my best to. So it's less about willpower and more about a daily regiment ritual that eases my urges, eases my spirit, so that I don't feel pressured to do these things. It's an urge. Your little man down there, mine's not so little. He's like, we need a bust a nut now. So instead of dealing with all that, I say, let me pray, let me listen to something, and then anyway, let me pray and get out of here. The video's about to cut off. Think about what I said. Dear God, thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them whole and unique and guiding them on a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing them with amazing people that love them and take care of them and bring the best out of them, that you're maintaining the ones that are there as well. Thank you for blessing this person with a spirit of gratitude, so they can give thanks for all the things they have, and through giving thanks they can find peace and contentment and attract even more blessings. Thank you that your presence is felt in this person's life, that you're guiding them, that you're loving them, that you're easing their burdens, Lord. Thank you for blessing this person with good health, long life, and happiness, and the same for everyone they love in their life. In my name I pray, in Jesus' name I pray.